Hello and welcome to a brand new park in Planet Coaster. This is going to be a British park based on one theme park in particular, one I actually grew up with in a sense. Normally about one weekend a year as I was growing up, we used to visit this theme park and spend the weekend there. It was usually on a bank holiday. I'm not actually going to mention what it is until someone guesses it in the comments, but one hint I'm going to give, it isn't Alton Towers despite the entrance. That was just, I took the inspiration from Alton Towers just to build the entrance for that one. Right, so let's just show you where we are now. The reason why I've already built this and it isn't the first episode is because I didn't really know where I was going with this park to begin with. So although it is recorded, it's a bit slow and a bit back and forth, and I just thought that wasn't really all that interesting. If anything, it was frustrating. So I thought I'll get started and then we'll start. So firstly, we've got the entrance down here in this tunnel down here, built up with the opposite rocks. This long wide path down here, we've actually got another tunnel, and this will eventually become our road, or fake road, and to lead on to what will be our car park over here. These are just here because the staff are getting annoyed, so I just plop that down quickly. So the entrance, yeah, we've got 2 ticket booths here. This is not going to be a particularly big park, so I think 2 will suffice for the moment. Our entrance here, obviously. Now over here, we've got what will become a sort of pub location. I mean, in here we've just got a few little restaurant type stalls. So, and it's named the King's Arm, which is, if you are from England, you'll know that is a typical British pub name, along with the British flag here, the Union Jack. Over here now, we've got this is more sort of food and stuff. So you know, you've got your burgers, chief beef, Fritz, and coffee, and your gulpy. Toilets over here, and a few benches. We've done a little backstage area. This is something I'm going to try and keep up as I build the park. I'm kind of going for a semi-realistic approach on this one. Not perfect, but I want to try and get as much realism as I can. So as you can see with this swinging chair right here, I've tried to cover up the paths a little bit with the floor panels here, and redone the fence around it with a picket fence. So I think that'll be a bit more what it would be like in real life. The next plans for this are obviously to cover up these, do some planters in here and such, and finish up the front of these things. So right now we're going to jump into a time lapse and we will go from there. Okay, cool, so we're in the time lapse now. As I mentioned before, this park is going to be based on a particular park that I used to go to when I was growing up, which would have been around the late 90s, early 2000s. And I've decided to keep this park in the same era, so you can sort of expect to see some more vintage rides like the ones we got in the vintage pack, or most recently we got the SLV, which we got in the ride pack that came out a couple of months ago. A couple of things I have decided with this park is, firstly, the name. As you would have seen in the title of this video, I'm going to call this park Wonderstone Park. I've also decided to give this a slight adventure theme. I'm going to try and make it not so over the top, because I personally think that most British parks really don't have as much theming in comparison to their European or American counterparts. So I'm just going to try and replicate the more subtle theming style you might see in the real British parks as much as I can. Now the first thing I wanted to do was start to cover up some of these gaps in the path, which I've used for some rock work for, which I'm not too sure on. I think they look okay, but they're not the greatest. But I was having a look at Alton Towers in Google Street View, and I did notice they did use a lot of rocks themselves, mainly to cover up the edges of these sort of grassy areas that I'm sort of you can see on the screen now. So I was taking some inspiration from that. Okay, so here we can see that I'm just doing the finishing touches on this rock work around the edge of this one of these larger areas I couldn't really get the path to cover up on. And I must say it was a bit of a pain in the arse to actually get the rock work done. But it does look quite good now that it's all done around that edge, I think, personally. In the minute we're going to be adding in this tree. Yeah, here we go. I kind of wanted to go for maybe an autumn sort of look. I wasn't really too sure because I know the peeps, some of them turn up in shorts, which in England is not very good. In the autumn it'll be freezing, and the autumn trees are all a really nice colour, but they don't have any bushes really to go with them, so I might swap them out for some more green trees in the future. So that's that side done, and now we're going to move on to the opposite side. We've got to cover up this bit of green grass on this side. So right now you'll see the buildings are pretty generic, and my thinking is that when they first built the park it didn't really matter about theming because it was never designed to be a theme park. It would have been in the 1960s, 1970s, and it would have been something like a manor house maybe we'll put in there that was the main attraction, and in time they've added more attractions and gardens or something like that. So the buildings at the front are going to be quite generic, so they're just going to be made out of brick. With the exception of the actual main entrance, which they've redone in more sort of recent times. So we're going to be building a new building here. This is something that I sort of wanted to have for, say, the parents of the children that are currently on the swinging chairs ride, just to have a bit of a sit down and just sort of watch their kids from afar. Okay, so you can see we just finished up the finishing touches of this building here. You see we've got the seating area for the people that are waiting for people that have gone on rides. And yeah, we just finished up the time lapse here as well. So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.